Hello, this is a tutorial on a method I have discovered for how to quickly and perfectly rig hands in Blender so that they can be modded in Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PC. As you can see, I have before me the model from my Scarlet MJ mod, which is the model I was working on when I first discovered and came up with this method. I will therefore be using it here. Now let's begin. First, you'll want to make sure you have the Cats add-on for Blender and have it enabled, as you will be needing it for this method. Next, make sure you have a model of Spider-Man's body converted and imported into Blender, as we will be using it here. As you can see, the hands for both models do not overlap, which results in our model not being rigged properly in game. To fix this, go into Sculpt mode. Now, using a mix of the Grab and Elastic Deform tools, move the fingers of your model so that they perfectly overlap with the fingers of the Spider-Man model. As this is just a tutorial, I won't be making too much of a fuss on making the fingers look perfect, but obviously you'll be wanting to make sure they still look good for your model, so take your time here. No matter what though, the fingers of each hand must overlap and fit inside the fingers of the Spider-Man model. In my case, I found that Elastic Deform works best in moving multiple parts of the hand, while Grab sometimes worked better for smaller details that didn't move the rest of everything. Again though, take your time here. The fingers of your model must be inside the model of the Spider-Man body and not too much of it should be outside.
Assuming you don't want to watch this more boring part, you can now freely skip ahead to around the 245 to 250 mark of the video, where I finish rigging both hands.
Now let's do the same with the other hand. Now we have completely sculpted both hands of our model.
So now it's time to get rid of the Spider-Man body model we imported. Don't worry, we will be bringing it back later. It's just in the way now and will likely mess up our next step. If you don't delete it, there's a possibility it can accidentally join with your model when you fix it using Cats. Now then, as you can see, if you were to try and pose the hands of your recently sculpted model right now, they are messed up due to the changes in the weights. We must fix this. To do this, we need to use the Cats add-on for Blender that I previously mentioned. So make sure you've already downloaded and enabled it. Go to the Cats add-on. At the top, you should see a button called Fix Model. Here, as you can see, is the Fix Model button, which we will use to fix our model's hand weights. If this does not show for whatever reason, as happened to me once, export your model as a XPS file. Then simply import it again with the Import Model button above in the Cats add-on, where the Fix Model button is. That should cause the Fix Model button to hopefully show. Now go to Fix Your Model. In order to ensure no issue, I would recommend finishing everything else you plan to do in regards to making your model before this. Now the model is fixed. If you have an old armature, delete it, as you will no longer need that armature and it likely will no longer work for our purposes here. Now we must re-import the Spider-Man body model we had from before. Obviously make sure you've previously extracted the model and converted it into a ASCII file, then find the model and import it into Blender. We have the Spider-Man model imported, so now we must add our model to this model's armature using the empty groups and data transfer method. I would recommend joining the parts of the Spider-Man model as well, though it may not be required. Then clearing the parent of our Spider-Man model, while also keeping the transformation. This is because sometimes the model may still be attached to our old parent it was linked to. Now parent our model to the imported armature as an empty group. Do not parent it with automatic weights. Once it is parented, move the model under the armature layer. As you can see, our model is now parented to the armature, but we are not done just yet. Go to the Object Data Properties tab. As you can see, the vertex groups for our model are present. Click on the arrow button on the right and delete all groups to empty our model. Then check to make sure the vertex groups for the Spider-Man body are still present. Now go to Modifier Properties and add the Data Transfer modifier, which you will want to move to the top. Move to Enable Vertex Data, then enable the transfer of vertex groups. Then click the Source button and make the Spider-Man model your source, after which you'll want to generate layers and apply the modifier to your model. With that done, delete the Spider-Man model, which is no longer needed. If you were to pose the fingers of the hands of your model, as you can see I am doing with my Scarlet MJ model now, you will see they are now properly rigged, making them ready to be modded into the game. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that this method works for you too. As you can see, it certainly did for me with my Scarlet MJ mod, which you can find on the Spider-Man PC Remastered Nexus mod site if you're curious to download it, and well as any other mods I have created in the past or will create in the future. I would certainly appreciate the support. Anyways, I hope this tutorial helped you, and good luck modding my fellow Spider-Man modders. Excelsior!